Do you have pain in your lower back? And you've probably been told to do this stretch right here. Oh, just like lean forward and round the back and just relax and like let me stretch those hamstrings. Maybe it provides a little bit of temporary relief, but you know what? Oftentimes, this makes the problem worse. And the reason why is because you're stretching the wrong side of the body, the wrong muscles. Let me explain what this means, okay? When we stand, if we have what's called an anterior pelvic tilt, it means that our tailbone will be pointing up like this. And you can imagine right here, if this tailbone was pointing up more and this back was arched more like this, we're putting a lot more pressure on these discs and these vertebrae in the lower back. When we put more pressure on them, we get more inflammation, we get more degradation and more damage to these discs, which then pinch down on these little nerves that innervate between the vertebrae and are responsible for like the muscles of our legs, right? So we start to get numbness, acheness, all this stuff happening down our legs, and it's because we have this posture like this. Now this posture right here is already a long hamstring position. So if I go stretch like this for a little while and come back up, it'll feel good temporarily, but it'll actually make this problem worse, which will then make this problem worse, and you'll get more and more back pain, more and more nerve pain. So instead, we want to do stretches that bring the pelvis back into its proper alignment so that the spine is upright and that the discs aren't being put under a lot of pressure on these angles, right? So what are these muscles? Well, it's these muscles right here that run across the front of the hip. Inside the hip, your psoas, your hip flexors, your sartorius, the muscles that prevent your hips from opening like this, that pull your pelvis into this position. Now these happen, this gets really tight because we sit a lot. When we sit a lot, this muscle's short, right? And then we go to stand, and instead of us being able to extend our hips all the way, we stand and that muscle's tight, and then we develop this anterior pelvic tilt. But there is a simple stretch that you can do that will help you overcome this. Now I recommend doing this stretch every single day, ideally maybe AM and PM. The more you do it, the faster this will change your pelvic posture, okay? It's called a hip flexor stretch, right? So standing hip flexor stretch is the first variation. You can do this anytime, anywhere. You're gonna just take a lunge step forward, turn your hips forward. The big thing here is to tuck the pelvis, okay? So don't let the butt stick out. Don't arch the lower back like this. Tuck the pelvis, keep it there, and then slowly drop the hips towards the front foot. When you do this, you'll feel the hip flexor on this side with the back leg start to stretch. Now just hold this position for 30 to 60 seconds. Taking a big breath in, exhaling and coming down, and trying to feel that real big stretch coming through there. Another thing that's helpful for people, think about length. So from the heel, all the way through the hip, all the way through the stomach, all the way through the top of the head, just length, 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 length. That's gonna help you feel a deeper stretch inside the hip flexor. Once you do it on one side, switch to the other side, okay? Now you're gonna do this stretch anytime, anywhere throughout the day to help loosen up those hip flexor muscles, which then resets the pelvic posture. Another thing I want to show you too is if this isn't very deep for you, we want to go deeper with this stretch. We'll take a nice pillow or cushion, something that's really soft that you can kneel on, and come down to a kneeling position. I'll do it the opposite side, like this. Now from this position, what you're going to want to do is same thing, turn your pelvis forward, tuck your tailbone, and then allow your hips to come down towards your front heel. And you're gonna feel this stretch coming through the front of your hip flexor. Now we don't wanna overstretch the lower back like this, trying to get deeper. Instead, again, squeeze the glutes, tuck the pelvis, and come forward while feeling that deep hip flexor stretch. Again, breathing and relaxing as we're holding this position. This can help you deepen the stretch in a lot of ways, and it can really help you expedite the process of loosening up your hip flexors so that your posture goes back to this. We take the pressure off the lower back, and your whole body feels better. Because remember, when you move your body better, you feel better in your body. And this stretch will help you move your body better all day long. Now, if you really want to stretch your body in a way that feels good, then you've got to join our Best Stretches for You Masterclass, which we are hosting live this week. If you want to join, all you have to do is click the link below and sign up for free.